Hey everyone, welcome back to Redbanditracing. Here we are for the review on the HOSS 4x4 VXL. We got James, aka Crash, and he does live up to his name because this is the second review. You're watching technically the first one, but this is the second filming of it. I'm going to roll a clip on what happened during the first review when we were trying to talk about the new HOSS. So as you can see, he's going full speed right now, doing a wheelie. Smashes into a metal ramp, breaking the lower control arm, pulling the front of the control arm out of the suspension pin while separating the shock cap from the shock. But as you can see, those were the only things that broke, going full speed into a metal ramp. So that's a good durability test, but that wasn't a durability test moment. All right, so let me show you exactly what happened. So like I said, he broke the front shock cap. So what he did was he put the GTRs that were on his Slash onto the HOSS, and he's gonna fix the Ultra Shocks that broke, and he's gonna put that on the Slash. And he went ahead and replaced the control arms. These are not RPM, these are supposed to be the stock arms, which they actually look a little bit different than the rears. But what happened was he broke it, I can't remember what side it was, but he broke the front of the control arm off the pin inside. We were trying to salvage the video, but it would not stay in. It was pretty torn off, so he went and replaced that. All right, so he is running the 6400 3S battery. This is a pretty bulky battery, but it fits in there just fine. I'm not sure I like this clip system because it doesn't really click in there very well. That kind of worries me a little bit if he hits a jump and this battery flies out. So we may have to do something about that. It does come with the sledgehammer tires. The gluing process is supposed to be better, but it's not. I've had these unglue. Once you re-glue them once, they usually hold up pretty fine. This car does come with the 2075 servo. This is another weak point. The plastic gears in there do chip pretty easy, so if you do chip those, I would replace them with the steel, and then you won't have that problem anymore. It does got the 540 XL motor, and that's pretty much it. I mean, this looks like a glorified Rustler. The center drive shaft, I'd like to note, a lot of them come with that cover now for the drive shaft. But if you notice on this side, rocks are still getting into it, and I believe, yeah, they're gonna get into it from the bottom either way, so it's gonna get scratched up. So I'm not sure why they put a cover on the top without shielding it from the bottom. I do like the way the XRT is actually set up, because it actually has a hole in the bottom to drop a lot of the rocks that get caught in there. So I don't know why they didn't do that with a lot of the other cars. They could have just put something to vent all that stuff out. The 540 XL Millennium motor, this does come stock with the 1454 gear ratio, and on 3S that's going to get you 40 plus miles an hour. If you want to hit that 50 plus miles an hour, you're going to look at the 1854 ratio, and if you want to hit that 60 plus miles an hour, you're going to want to go to a 2350. That's going to be kind of fast considering these tires are going to balloon up and they're going to skate a lot. But I think what we're going to do is put the high-speed gearing back in the Rustler, and then put a high-speed gear in this and race the two and see how they do. The Rustler on talons, the stock talons, are probably going to do a lot better than this. The Max, it's hard for us to get the high speeds because these sledgehammers balloon so much, even though they're great off-road tires. And as for the body, this is just as frustrating to put on as the Rustler. I mean, it's not as bad. You still have to push down just a little bit to get it over that clip in the front, just like that. And the sides are just like the Max. They don't want to go in there on the first try. And I see this breaking a lot, just like on the Max. You're going to want to reinforce this, maybe put the body armor on the sides, maybe some Gorilla Tape, or do the shoe glue method. So let's go ahead and have them drive it around a little bit. The HOSS seems to handle pretty decently on the dirt. The only problem is the higher center of gravity. You got to be careful not to flip it, so you don't want to corner too sharp. See if you can hit this ramp and land a couple times. I know it's got more power than that to correct. Better. Oh, at least you saved it. Right, so he's gonna race around the bag, see how this thing handles. Not bad, not bad. Remember, he is new to the hobby. So don't judge him by his driving. You know, this is his first time owning a real basher, so he's actually doing not that bad for a beginner. He actually did pretty good with the Slash, with racing. The Slash does stick to the ground pretty well, but you know what, the HOSS can too. It's just it takes time learning how to drive them. and how to control them, and a lot of it's throttle. You know, it takes a little bit of time to learn the throttle and to drive it correctly. But you know what? It's a really fun truck. I know Danielle really wants one now. If you guys leave a comment down below. I wanted to get her into a 4-wheel drive Stampede, but she really likes the HOSS after seeing it. So leave it down below. Do you want Purple Leader, aka Danielle? Do you want her to go ahead and get the 4-wheel drive Stampede, or do you want to see her get a HOSS? Please leave a comment. We're gonna see if he can drive it with the TSM off, see how it handles. Not that bad. He's got to slow a little bit down in the corner. He's going too fast. If you guys notice, it's going to be a little bit harder to control with no TSM. But if this is your first RC car and you're looking at getting the HOSS, the best way to learn how to drive an RC car is turn TSM off, and you got to learn control. And a lot of control starts with throttle. You don't want to give it too much throttle. You know, you don't want to squeeze full 100% and then brake. You want to squeeze the throttle slightly and really slowly. It's all about throttle response. And if you can master that, TSM's only going to make you faster, because it's going to help control you while you guys give it the beans. Yeah, he's all over the place. Oh! So like I said, I mean, if you guys are looking to get a HOSS, it is a great RC. If you're a beginner, I would just really learn how to drive it. Like I said, turn TSM off, learn how to control. It's all about throttle response. It's a great RC car if you're getting it for your first RC car. If you're looking for someone with 4-wheel drive, I mean, the Rustler's not a bad option too. I like the Bandit. And the Max obviously is a great one to go to if you're looking for 4-wheel drive, but the HOSS does have its advantages. The only thing I wish they did with the HOSS is they put the heavy duty kit in it. So let's have him jump the ramp. Let's have him go do some bicycles, see what kind of tricks this thing can do. So you can do wheelies on demand. That 3S power, it does got a lot of power. And one of the cool features is the bunny hop. Ooh, almost into a little nose stand. Now, just so you guys know, you don't want to do that whole lot because it will break your axles. It is a lot of strain on your drivetrain. And I think this thing could do bicycles. Well, that was a little one, but I know it could do a better one. Almost wants to grab. Here we go. All right, so that's all we're gonna do with the bicycles, because I'm gonna show you guys why. This is why. This is why you gotta be careful doing bicycles. The tires unglued. So I'm kind of glad this happened, because Traxxas says they have a new gluing method that they use on a lot of their tires, and it does not work. I've had this happen on my sledge. Now we have it happening on the HOSS. It's happened on the other Sledgehammer tires we bought, and so now we're gonna get it jump in the wrap a couple times. Remember, we're not gonna bash it. We're not gonna do any of that. That's gonna be in a later video where we're really gonna send it. We're just gonna do a few jumps so you guys can check it out and see how it does on the jumps. Plus, with that tire coming off, we don't wanna hit it too hard. So what are your overall thoughts between the HOSS and the Slash?
The HOSS has more power. I can do jumps with it. I can do bicycles. I can do bunny hops, wheelies. I think it's a more overall better car for that compared to the Slash.
What about racing?
Racing, I feel like it's a little top heavy. I think the Slash would probably beat it if I were going to do it head to head. The Slash just feels way more close to the ground, and it takes those corners a lot better. The HOSS, as you could tell in some of the racing I was trying to do around the track, I was tumbling over if I was going too sharp, and you just got to learn how to race it.
All right, first off, sorry for the music in the background, guys. I'll try and draw some of that out. But I want to hear from RedLeader. I'm here too, by the way. Yes, RedLeader's here too. He's with us. I want RedLeader to go around a couple laps easy and kind of see how he thinks it feels. because we have the Max.
Yeah.
You know, we have the Rustler. He's got the E-Revo. So this is kind of a mid-grade car to kind of see how this thing handles, right?
Yeah. Whenever I drive someone else's car, it always feels, I don't know, it just feels weird. Like when I tested the sledge, it just, I don't know, it just has a different feel. But it definitely handles drifts a lot better than, I think it handles drifts better than the Rustler. Probably because it's taller and it's able just to carry its weight better. It's, it definitely gets up on 3 wheels a little bit. So it's not the most stable, but it's actually pretty nice to race. I've raced a lot of bashers. I've raced the Slash or the Rustler that often. I'm usually racing the Max or the E-Revo. So I'm more used to racing taller trucks.
All right, so
overall, I think it handled pretty good. I actually think it handled a lot better than the Rustler, but that's just for me. I'm used to running taller trucks. It's not as fast as the Rustler, but I really like how it's able to hold that drift. I was able to get some really nice drifts around third base, so it's actually pretty stable. The sledgehammers are actually pretty good for this car. And even though that one's popped, I didn't really notice. It handled actually really good. So now we're gonna have Bandit run a few laps.
yeah, it does feel a lot like the Rustler, maybe even kind of like the Max. As far as the drifting goes, that does feel like the Max to me, because the Max, you can't full throttle it on the Max, because it'll do the same thing. It'll want to tip. Want to hit that back too hard. But you know, when I lay it all the way down, oh, I didn't want to turn right there. I like how it turns though. It doesn't have the power the Max does on throttle. You can tell, because every time I hit the throttle, I'm expecting it to just shoot off the corner, and it doesn't shoot.
Yeah, definitely less acceleration.
Yeah, but as far as the handling, I actually kind of like the handling. If you hit it just right, I'm holding the throttle steady now. I'm not even letting go of the throttle. That's actually nice. That would be really fast racing in the Clash. Just gonna take some getting used to, especially going from the Slash to the HOSS. That's a big change. Just like with Purple Leader with the E-Revo. If that thing slows down just a little bit going through the corner, it just wants to roll over in the dirt. So it's the same thing. It wants to get up on 2 wheels, but hey, that just means it can do more tricks, and this can do a moonwalk. So we can't show that right now because we don't want that tire to fully pop off. So we're not gonna do that right now. All right, so my overall thoughts on the HOSS, it's a great 4-wheel drive truck. It's got a lot of power. It can do a lot of tricks. It's really cool that it could do a moonwalk. I really wish my sledge could do a moonwalk, but it lacks the power in reverse. And I think they do that on purpose.
Yeah, I like the car overall. I mean, I think it's an upgrade for the Slash for what I'm trying to do from the Slash. Not, anyways.
He's going to be in a lot more videos now that he has this, because we have to do the bashing. So if you guys are Crash fans, make sure you guys vote for him in the Clash. He's going to do a lot of crashing, and we have a lot of bashing coming up. So it's going to have its first bashing video coming up in a couple of weeks, and we're going to have both ramps out here, and we're going to actually check the durability, which it should have pretty decent durability, but I'm expecting a few axles to break, because these heavy duty axles, just like in the Rustler, I don't think can withstand a lot of impact. So, and I don't think the HOSS can withstand a lot of crash. So,
yeah, I don't think it's going to withstand a lot of crash either, but we're going to see. We're going to take it off the ramp a few times and see what breaks.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we got a lot of videos coming up, so make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Vote me. Vote Crash.